if there's a generational gap amongst the industry?
Do I feel it's a generational gap? Not as much as it was.
Right.
And I think that comes from us not being accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to remember, we have a personal life, and we have to keep that shit in perspective. We are fathers, some of us as husbands, or just human being, period. Some of us had to go sit down and retool ourselves, and some of us didn't have to do that. It was just, like I said, it's just a lot going on. You had to be careful in the company that you keep and who you want to give these jewels and gems to, because that's a part of taking chances, though, too. We still have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And along the roads, we have been through so much that the trust issue is a major role in taking the time out to let someone coexist in your environment, your studio, or or your home, or wherever you reside at. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to making music. So, but it took time, for those who had the right temperature, meaning meaning energy and respect, and knowing how to talk to us. We will pull them to the side and give them some special gems and why we move this way, or why we wasn't accessible. Mm-hmm. And then once they got that information, then they was like, oh. And then some really embraced us and did something about it to add to the history and relationship of us being successful. Once we seen that they could be trusted and right. that they was responsible, meaning how they conduct themselves personally. You got a lot of people who are talented, but them as a person, they're not wrapped too tight. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot to attach ourselves to in being accessible. That's so important that y'all know that. Mm-hmm. And if we've been having troubles off and on trying to give people the benefit of the doubt that they are in good faith, spirit, mind, and whatever that they want to bring to the table with us, then we'll give them a gem or two and let them coexist with us. But when we see they don't have their life together, and it's hard for us to keep our ears on to the streets for everyone who's doing what they're doing, because a lot of people be pretending. So I'm addressing the issue first before I decide to address the positive side of it. And then the positive side of it is people like, oh, okay, well, let me finish this thing. We're our name in this game, and we're a brand in this game, and we have integrity and relationships and power behind a lot of positions because of the success of what we have done. So we have to be careful about what we choose to attach ourselves with. I just had to say that one more time. But for those who took us seriously and did something with the information in the game that they gave us, we know a lot of who those guys are, and I can name them. I named some of the producers already. Mm-hmm. the Terrence Martin, the 1500s or nothing, the Hit Boys, the Mustard, whoever you could think of, Chords, another extraordinary producer who was behind the Jerk Sound and the turn-ups music that they was doing for YG, Tooted and Booted, Ty Dolla Signs, all them cats. Mm-hmm. They are a spin-off from us. Then we got Problems, Bad Luck, my brother Mike Strum. So on the generational gap, I just want to give you guys a few things and the good and the bad about it. The bad thing about, like I was saying earlier, is not knowing how to present, your interests at hand and who you greeting the meeting. That's important, that you know what you're talking about, where you're going, what you want them to get out of the conversation. Studying your history about who's who it's important because then that's enough conversation. That shows them that you really been following their careers. You know things about them. You were able to compliment them and show them that you are a team player. It's the same way with joining the NFL or NBA. You know what you know. You know. Your personal lifestyle and how you live your life too has a major role to play with someone taking the time out to bring you into their place of business or into their world. So if you out there reckless, you know, and thinking that you're gonna have a chance with the talent you have, that doesn't match. You already seen that before your eyes. A lot of the peers that you look up to play a major role. They displayed in the mistakes that they made. So you can't come in the game thinking that those opportunities of clowning and bullshitting around, you still can bring that to the table because it seemed like that's the thing to do. Nah, you know, the people that you're looking up to, you know, they had their fair share, and thank God that they was able to turn it around in a decent time and show the maturity of their careers, personally and professionally. To get back on the positive side about the generational gap, that is kind of closing now.
The positive side.
The positive side of the generation gap has been a nice journey to see. Within the last 3 years, 4 years. But really, unfortunately, we still have some crazy things going on. Try not to speak so much on it, but we got a lot of work to do about internet. I would say wars. It breaks my heart to see that with these devices that our people play a role in instigating or pumping up the situation because of someone's reputation. You know, if they feel like the perception of someone's comment is too powerful or impactful to the point where it persuades their perception of the decision making, that's not good at all, you know. Mm-hmm. Because you feel like you have a reputation to protect, and you don't want that picture to be painted like that, because some of it could be true. You'd be surprised. People are very good in sniffing out bullshit, but not good in keeping their perspective to themselves. But that's what this platform is for, is to expose, is to gather information. It's a gossiping platform. It's the anything goes, and when we don't pay attention to how to maximize the Instagram or these social media platforms, they're supposed to be a social awareness and communication to bridge gaps of relationships that has been impossible. You know, this is another way for you to reach an audience or reach people that you always looked up to, and you'd be surprised in what relationships that has happened behind the closed doors, meaning the DMs, if not the celebrities themselves, you know, twiddling and turning pages and seeing something interesting. I can give you a positive one because I posted D-Smoke performing Weak and Freak It in Spanish. One of the TV promoters for the show, Hustle and Flow, if I'm not wrong. No, not Hustle and Flow, but it's still relevant to T.I. It was a talent kind of thing where Cardi B and...
Oh, yeah, I remember it. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember the contest on Netflix.
Yeah, so the producer saw on my post D Smoke grabbed him, put him in the competition. He ended up winning, and now look at him.
Yeah, the rest is history.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or another situation where I got placements and collaborated with other musicians and producers behind that.
Yeah.
You know, that's the positive side of how impactful that a social media device could be. But when you start bringing life issues that are not entertaining, really on the up and up, or the upper echelons of you being successful, it doesn't add up. But for numbers, credibility, status quo, egos, you know, wanting to show off and wanting to be popular in a negative way, it's I don't like the fact that these social media platforms has allowed people to perpetuate that shit to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
To where now when you see crime happening, you don't see it just from the news. The people who own the devices are able to upload this content, and they're not really policing the situation, and that shit ain't cool. You know, and now we got Citizen App. I mean, I like the fact that Citizen App does aware you of what's going on in any parameter where you at.
Yeah.
That I like that, but you know, it's crazy to see that happening with the young generation who's trying to enter into the music industry and or just even movie industry. It's like there's no rules. It's, you know, the society. So to sum it up, for those who really respect themselves, love themselves, and got a family, you know, that believes in you, you know, you start small with that. And the way you carry yourself personally says a lot, and you having the opportunity possibly to have someone in the game that would want to take time out to inspire you, groom you, educate you, and position you in a way where you can stand on your own. But you must show all these things first hand, and we need to even damn near hear that the word need to be out that you are not a liability, you're an asset. You know what I'm saying? If we can get to like, man, dude got his own thing, he ain't in no funny shit. Who's his people? You know, we always doing the background check, you know, on who's who and what crew he run with. You know, people need to understand your Instagram and Facebook and all these social platforms is more like your the way like a discography. It's like your bio, it's your portfolio. Bottom line of who you are, and people can check the way that you feel. They can tell if your mental is right because of the type of stuff that you saying, you posting, and all that. We can tell if you're not so bright. We can tell if you're having a sense of humor. We can tell if you're being troubled, you know, saying some instigating shit, you know. We can tell if you ain't wrapped too tight up there, you know. That's what people do now. You know, used to turning a physical resume, but your Instagram is all that now.
Right.
And now you got people digging in deeper into your profile, seeing all the people you follow and going looking at the kind of people that you even follow. Going, oh shit, okay, there you go. I knew it was some shit about this right here. And then next thing you know, you become a fucking liability instead of a fucking asset. You know, you're a problem. Like you everybody's connected to the street. It's not about that, but it's just the way you conduct with your people, man. If you in the ways of the world with that bullshit, man, it only goes so far, man. We just here to teach. So with that said, we willing to take a chance, but we just very cautious about who we decide to get on with. You know what I'm saying? The reputation must precede itself.
Off top.
You know, and once we see you got some principles, some morals about your get down, and you hungry about this business, and you done did your research, and you know what's going on, yeah, we want to attach ourselves to people like that.
Most definitely. Another